Welcome to 101 Tips for Interviewers and Interrogators. I'm your host, Stan Walters, and this is tip number 22. So tip number 22 of our 101 Tips for Interviewers and Interrogators. I wanted to ask you if you are staging your interview room. Now, what I mean by staging, are you putting up charts, photographs, diagrams, link diagrams, graphics, crime scene sketches of your interview room? I've seen that done, and most often it's done as a way to try to leverage the subject about how much information that you have. And again, this situation is futile and hopeless, and they don't need to even try to explain away their behavior. Remember earlier we talked about the process known as SUE. Go back and look at that episode. Strategic use of evidence. In the principle of strategic use of evidence, we hold information as long as we possibly can. Now that accomplishes two or three things. Number one, your subject, it's easier to spot deception that way. In fact, those interviewers who hold that information as long as possible wind up getting about a 68% accuracy rating in finding deception in their subject statements. That's done because the subject doesn't know what you have in hand. So that they put at greater risk, creates greater cognitive load, and they generate stronger cues of evasion and ultimately deception. The second problem that you have there is you may be contaminating your subject. Now think about it. One of the biggest problems with false confessions, or at least a minimum contaminated statements from victims and witnesses as well as subjects, is disclosing information too early. So later in the interview, when you get information back from your subject that appears to corroborate the case, in fact what you're getting is an echo effect because you've already disclosed that information ahead of time. Now also, if your staging interview includes putting together a folder with a bunch of papers in it, writing their name on the folder, or getting a DVD or a VHS tape, if you're still using those, and put the subject's name on it, I've got all this evidence on you. We are also putting your credibility for the subject at great risk. What if they call your hand on that? What if they say, what's in there? Read it to me, show me. Let me see the DVD, let me see the video. And you don't show it because, well, now we're not going to see that. You're losing some advantage in your leverage and influence and persuasion with the subject. Now, I don't like making up evidence. I don't lie about evidence because there's too great a risk there. And it can cause problems if you misdiagnose deception. So I find that interviewers are trying to stage the interview room and stage all the information they have. Maybe they don't have as effective as case as they think. This is the only tactic that you have. You might be in a problem. You might need to do a little more work on your case. Now, there are some exceptions to the rule. I understand it in major profiling cases and particular personality types. But as a general rule, don't stage the room. Don't conjure up evidence. Don't disclose information up early. Let the subject talk, then come back and impeach them with what you do have, and avoid contaminating the subject. Thanks for joining us in this series. Hope you've subscribed. How about passing this series along to someone else who can subscribe and join in? And again, I invite you to connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the social media networks, so that I can keep in touch with you and make sure that you get all the resources that you have so you can be the best interviewer you can and take you into the 21st century technology, next generation interview and interrogation tactics. Hope to see you again soon on, tip number 23. Be safe.